What is up, guys? Today we have a very important video. We're going to be going over a lot, so let's just jump right into it. We're going to have 4 stages to this video. First, we're going to have earnings of this week, and then we're going to have important news, and then we're going to have tariff impacts, and then we're going to finally go over the charts. I do want to hit on earnings very quickly. We have Amazon, Google, Palantir, and AMD out of the tech sector as the important ones. I'm going to be dropping a video later tonight on Palantir and what I expect from them. Next, we have the pharmaceutical firms. We have Novo, Eli Lilly, Merck, and Pfizer. Those are some pretty important ones. Hopefully those will help HIMSS before they have their earnings. Next, we have the entertainment sector with Disney. That's really all they have. And then others, we have United Airlines, which we can expect those to be pretty rough. Next, we're going to be having our important news. We have NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang keynote at CES in Las Vegas. Hopefully we get some bullish news because NVIDIA desperately needs it. We have the stock market being closed on the 6th for Jimmy Carter's funeral. Hopefully the market can rebound before that, and we'll go ahead and talk about that. We also have FOMC meeting released on February 5th. And then lastly, we have the news on tariffs. Trump did impose 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico, and 10% on goods from China starting February 21st. The market reaction to that was not very good on Friday. SPY and the QQQ both dropped about 0.5% after that, and same with the Dow Jones. And then also, what we have for economic impacts is a potential increase in cost for the U.S. businesses and consumers distributing through supply chains. For example, NVIDIA pulling their chips from Taiwan and that region are going to be taxed from now on. So that does, affect their profitability in ways. Personally, I think that this is going to be bullish long term. I think it's something that had to be done. It's just isn't going to be fun while it's working itself out, but once it's in place and it's set and people can adapt to it, I do think that in the long run it is a better system that we can create. But that is really all I have for earnings, important news, and tariffs. I do expect this week to be a bit of a bloodbath, especially Monday. Futures just opened, guys, and we are already down 2% on SPY, and then around 2.5-3% on QQQ. So it's not looking too great. Where we're going to open tomorrow, or if we were to open right now, it's at that 589 level, right above this gap that we have. So realistically, we're going to fill this gap tomorrow. Tomorrow's probably going to be a pretty rough day, guys. I want you to expect that. If you're eyeing puts, I would have that bias, and I will most likely be looking to buy some puts tomorrow. But I will also be looking to buy a bounce because I do expect a lot of these earnings with Alphabet, Google, Palantir, and AMD all to be very bullish. So I do expect what is probably going to happen in my mind, and what I am, predicting here, is that we kind of drop into Monday, and Monday's just rough. We just have a bad day on Monday, and then we find support either at this gap fill or down here at our prior breakout point for this huge move that we had. One of these 2 points will most likely be hit that 582 or around that 585 range. It's going to be a rough day, guys, I'm telling you. Most likely going to be down around 2.5% tomorrow for SPY, maybe even a little bit more. But I do expect a bounce to happen maybe later in the day, or at least in the after hours after Palantir's earnings. I do expect Tuesday to be a lot better. We might get some bleeding in the morning, but I think Tuesday is the day where you bounce. Maybe that is in the late afternoon, right before Google and AMD report in the afternoon. Maybe that is early morning. Maybe we just open green after tomorrow's bad red day for at least some kind of bounce. It might not stick, but we're going to talk about that. We're still kind of in this, retesting stage. So ideally what you want to see happen is we just kind of pull this down, and then eventually we will find our way either back into this, channel here of the bull flag, and then from there we can kind of depict what we're going to do. But the ideal scenario is you bounce here off this, but it probably will not happen. We're definitely going to end up filling this gap. This isn't a gap that you're going to want to leave. I've talked about this, and I've reassured my premium members time and time again that gaps like this need to be filled eventually. You're not going to leave a gap this large and then continue to the upside for much longer. So we have kind of had a bias towards the downside here, and it's starting to play out. I know some of my guys took puts, and those are about to be up 200 to 400 to 500, 600%. Once market opens tonight, I can guarantee those will be up 400%. So I'm very excited to see those returns. And then see our premium members make some good money. But I do expect S&P and QQQ to be red tomorrow with most of the market. I really do think that tomorrow is going to be a pretty rough day. So just understand that. And, I would really stay out of the market. I don't think this is a time where you sell. I think this is a time where you hold. Maybe you buy that dip tomorrow afternoon. That's kind of what I'm planning on. But taking a look at QQQ here, you're also going to open around 2.5% lower at that 509 range from, that 522 range. So a pretty decent drop here. But what I do want to talk about, guys, is two things. With a gap down like this is almost more bullish for the market long term, because how we're going to fill a gap down here, right? This orange gap, it needs to be filled to the downside, like I spoke about. A gap like that can't be filled or can't be left and then you continue the upside for much longer. Same is going to be with this gap. We are about to hold or create this gap tomorrow morning in teal here. And this thing is massive. You can't leave this on the way up either, especially with a stock like SPY, with a whole market tracing stock. This is not going to happen. You're not going to leave something like this. So what I'm really saying is we can do whatever we want below this gap, but eventually at some point in time, we will come back up to this 601 range and fill this gap. We might not do it initially. Tomorrow we might bounce off this gap and continue down, but at some point in the future, we will fill this gap. Same with this orange gap down here. It will most likely be filled tomorrow, and if not, it's getting filled on Tuesday or Wednesday, or until it gets filled, the market is going to keep moving down or sideways. But we're not going to see all-time highs again until that gap is filled down, and then we can fill the gap on the way back up. That's kind of how things are. We might even leave a gap down once we fill that gap up, which obviously wouldn't be ideal, but something like that can definitely happen. I do just want to point that out, because when people are talking about how scared they are when the market is dropping like this and they're kind of freaking out, this is a really nice thing I like to do, where you can kind of just see, okay, at some point in the future, I could say recent future or near future, we're going to fill this ginormous gap. I mean, this is a huge gap. This is a day where when you go start filling this gap, you take calls, and then your calls are up 500% at the end of the day because they ran from 509 to 522. So I do think that this is going to be bullish for SPY long term, and short term it is very, very, very bearish. I think tomorrow is going to be a very bad day. I think it's going to be just blood in the markets, and I'm quite confident in that. I think we will probably be down around 2.5-3% on SPY, and then probably 3 to 3.5, maybe 4% on QQQ. And then after hours, hopefully, Palantir and a few other earnings companies can pick up the pace, and we will maybe start making that move back up, or maybe we'll wait until Tuesday or maybe Wednesday after Google and Amazon's earnings late Tuesday. That is all I have for you guys, though. I just wanted to talk this through, let you guys know what's coming so you guys are prepared. Please do not freak out. I think that this is a time to hold, and then once you do get that bounce, you do buy that dip. I think this is a buy the dip opportunity once again, just like it was last week. Buying that dip paid off immensely for me. I plan to do that once again. I've already gotten some funds shuffled around, and I'm ready to buy the few stocks that I am looking at right now. But that is going to be all from me, guys. Make sure you guys do click that link down below in the description. It'll send you guys to our Discords. And then also make sure you guys do subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like. And then also comment what video you want me to make next. I have a Palantir video coming out tonight talking about earnings tomorrow, but I can also make one on Google, Amazon, Lilly, Disney, or any other stocks coming up with their earnings, or anything related to the stock market in general. But that is it from me, guys. Make sure you guys leave a like, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.